This hand is another keeper. We got Forest plus Simian Spirit, probably Forest plus Lair the Land for my first turn, holding up Simian Spirit Guide for Lightning Bolt. Turn 2 Growth, turn 3 Belcher and Head Balls and anything. And I'm going first. Find Forest. Skip to my turn. Draw another bolt. The lightning bolts are kind of fine, is how I've always found them. They're not great, as I always found them. They're a very recent addition. The guys on MTG Salvation just came up with it basically in the last not very long, and it's good. You know, it does what it needs to do. For example, I could consider killing that Bramblewood Paragon if I wanted to. As it happens, I'm happy to just Belcher away here. I've played this deck on here before. It's an elf-based kind of +1/+1 counter hardened scales deck. I don't know how good it is. I do know I've got a reasonably good matchup against it. Oh shit! Naturalize. Main deck naturalize. I've got to be honest, I wasn't expecting that. That's how I played this guy before. Don't think he's ever had the main deck naturalized before. Well then, that changes things a little bit. Well, let's try a Stirrings and see what we can find, shall we? And we find a land. This, of course, is the other great thing about Stirrings in this deck. It's you find your win conditions, you can find a Belcher, and the other important thing to note is that even if you don't find something, I mean the cards in this deck are very similar. There's not that many. There's not kind of outside of the win conditions. There's not a great variety of cards. You have a lot of Lair the Lands and rampant growths and so on, meaning that pitching a couple of cards or kind of pitching some cards to the bottom of your library really doesn't matter. It's effective. You might as well have drawn 5 in many ways if all you're doing is looking for the Belcher. And here we have Belcher number 2. Will hopefully be good enough. Well, we're at 60 and we haven't got forever to play around here. But this is, I mean, so the deck I'm playing against here isn't, I mean, it's an aggro deck, but it's not kind of blisteringly fast, or I haven't seen it have a blisteringly fast start yet. Who knows? Maybe it does exist. Maybe I could be crushed very, very quickly. I'm willing to admit that could possibly be the case. I mean, I can imagine a turn 1 Reese the Redeemed into turn 2 Bramblewood Paragon, turn 3 make a 3/3. Kind of beat down. I mean, that's not bad. Mercy killing. That's a new one. I haven't seen anyone use that. I don't think I've ever seen that card actually used before. Interesting stuff. we're going to save for a quest here. And with double bolt in our hands, I think it's probably just right to go and get a Stomping Grounds. And probably take out the Immaculate Magistrate. I mean, it's going to cost us 2 life, but I mean that's going to get scary otherwise. Just going to pay the 2 life. I'm going to bolt that main phase so it doesn't get to untap. Pay 1 red. And something I often do on here, which isn't necessarily, you know, there are probably better bits of technical play than this, but I have a tendency just to main phase Belcher. I mean, I know it's not really right, but what you gonna do? It takes 9. We only have, so the next Belcher, there's 1 land left in the library, and yeah, I mean, there's a pretty reasonable chance of us killing him if we get to untap. And he's got what, 6 power on the board. Out of the mono green elf deck, I'd be, let's say, a little surprised to be killed out of nowhere here. At least on 3 mana. I mean, you know, overrun maybe. If you could, yeah. Land, tap Elvish Mystic, overrun. Second Bramblewood Paragon, fair enough. And we are getting punched in the face for, it's going to be 6, yep, full 6. So, we're a bit of an interesting situation here. Less interesting now, actually. I was going to say we were kind of almost dead if we didn't kill him there, but birds plus a bolt means I can take out Bramblewood Paragon, and then so I'm going to just do that now. I'm getting advantage out of it, and we can chump with birds if we need to. And then just going to Belcher him. And ooh, it's not great. So now the next Belcher is guaranteed to be lethal, which is good. The other line there might have been to play a Batter Skull, and have the ability to block, gain some life back, etc. And that might be just the correct play. But I prefer going for lethal. I'm a bit greedy sometimes. It's one of my magic flaws. And it wasn't that. I mean, with 43 cards in your library, you have 1 land in there. You're probably going to flip, like, on average, I'd guess 20 cards. Right, assuming that it's kind of you have 1 in there. It might well, you probably have half your deck above it, half your deck below it, and that's just going to kill us. I think that's not great. Well, there we go. We'll scoop to that, I guess. Go to the board. What do we have out of the board for this? So we have Pyroclasms. Just going to sweep away his tokens, his Mana Dorks, whatever. We have a Thragtusk. Again, make a bit of life in kind of a more aggressive matchup. What do we not want? Well, we don't want the Rampant Growths. They come out against anything kind of more aggressive, basically. And we have one more card to trim. I don't hate cutting. So Security Elder is useful because it blocks before it dies and fetches a land. Birds of Paradise is pretty similar. Utopia Sprawl is probably the cut here, or the trim I should say, just because, I mean, he hasn't got the removal, so it's less relevant to have the ability for Birds of Paradise to block is more relevant than the likelihood of it being removed. In fact, I mean, he had main deck Naturalize, so Utopia Sprawl not so great here. We will start. Is this hand keepable? Yes, it is. We have mana sources, we have threats. It's actually a pretty decent hand. Nowhere mulliganing that. And so far on camera, we haven't had any seriously nasty hands. You do. One of the risks you run playing this deck is that, I mean, you do only have 7 lands in the deck. You have 7 lands, 4 Chancellors. If one of them isn't in your opening hand, you're going to need to go find some mana from somewhere. And if you can't, then that's it's not great. Let's just put it like that. So you can mulligan down to 5. Never see a mana source, and then depending on your own personal kind of risk taking, you can either decide to keep on the 5 and hope you draw into a forest, or you can mulligan again, go to 4. But at that point, you know, your chances of winning against anyone who can give you any kind of a clock, they're not great. So, like I said, the Hardened Scales deck. I mean, I don't know if it's good. I mean, I'm going to be honest here. I'm playing my Pile of Jank. He's obviously entitled to play his too. And the Battle Skull off the top wasn't totally useless draw. I mean, as noted last game, the line probably should have been play a Battle Skull, have a blocker. This game, however, hopefully won't need it. We're going to slam a belt. Drawing lands in this deck is one of the greatest feelings. I don't know any other deck where I'm so happy to top deck like a forest in the middle of the game. I mean, you know, you have games, right, where if you're feeling a bit mana screw, you really need a land, whatever, in a normal deck. But here, you know, every time you see a land, it's just one less thing you have to find, one less thing you have to get past. Like an increased odds of just windmill slam, kill, you're dead now. And Reese getting pumped by Bramblewood Paragon and Hardened Scale. I mean, this I suppose is why you play the deck, if that's your cup of tea. Once again, the clock isn't so fast that I'm massively concerned here. We should be fine. I mean, I can't even be hit by the 2/2 at the moment. We can draw Utopia Sprawl. Utopia Sprawl is another one which is very good. Costs no net mana, as I said before. And we'll probably name red here, just so that if we draw a Pyroclasm, we have a way of casting it. And we have enough green sources that, I mean, we're never going to need that much green in the turn. I may as well, I mean, under no clock, we can just afford to Belcher them. And 26 life, and they're dead. And they're going to make us go through this horrendous process of just clicking through our deck. No, they're not. Thank you very much, Mr. Opponent. We have a bit of Birds of Paradise thing going up our screen a bit. There. Let's just close down that. Any more changes I want to make? No, I'm pretty happy with the list as it is. submit that. Do we have a keepable hand? Well, as I've been saying time and time again now, we have a mana source, we have ways to get some lands, we have a threat. It's another decent hand, no mulliganing. So he's going first. Does he have the turn 1 Maladork? Or Hardened Scales? Turn 1 Hardened Scales. And there's our Pyroclasm. So that's fantastic. Happy to draw the Pyroclasm. Which means, given that I have so many things that want multiple green in the turn, I might use Safe Right Quest to go and get our Stomping Grounds now. I mean, we have effectively, we've drawn a land already, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to be left with 2 forests in the deck, which is not the end of the world, and Pyroclasm is a handy card to have available to us. And we boarded it in for a reason, right? Then comes the Mystic. Another Mystic, double Elvish Mystic. I'm a little surprised it didn't lead with a Mystic there, to be honest, and have triple green available this turn, but again, it's not my deck. So Sakura Tribe Elder here, a very decent card in kind of more aggressive matchups, especially on the ground. Now this is an interesting one. It might just be right here to Utopia Sprawl naming green, sorry, naming red, and Pyroclasm against. I'm just going to Pyroclasm as it is. I'd rather have my Sprawl on double green, or making my land produce double green. I'm an idiot. I keep saying this today. I could have just put my Utopia Sprawl on my Stomping Grounds for green, and then been able to write myself. Yeah, no. Like I said, I've been playing this deck for a while, but the red splash is still fairly new. Card. Utopia Sprawl on my forest. Just a turn later than planned. Still fine. And now that I've got Sakura Tribe Elder, I'm going to save these Caravan Vigils until next turn, when I'm going to actually cancel that, scrap that. What am I doing here? I'm going to play Safe Right Quest. So I'm going to land this turn. Leaving 1 green floating, find the forest. Play the forest. Play Sakura Tribe Elder. I'll skip round to my turn. Or I probably shouldn't do that just in case he has, I don't know, bolt out of the board or something, and I need to be able to react to it. So I'm going to crack Sakura Tribe Elder in my upkeep, reduce the chances of me actually drawing a land naturally. Because actually, at this stage I want more action. In an ideal world. And as you can see, there's going to be 3 forests left in my deck. After I play my Caravan Vigils, the deck is starting to prove me wrong once again. Alright, we'll play a forest, play a Caravan Vigil. I mean, you know, may as well just do a bit of ramping here. No big deal. Just gonna, you know, drain my deck of lands completely and then cast the Goblin Child Belcher. Put that on the battlefield. And then we will play the Belcher. Of course, if he has Naturalize, then I'm going to be unhappy. I will need to draw something. But he appears to be not already getting anywhere either. So I'm not, again, I'm under no clock. I'm not in a huge rush here. And I win. Fantastic. Well, thanks for watching this one, and I will see you in the next match.